He's dead. You sent an invitation to a dead man. Curse you, ski man! Iced baby. Do 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 do. Iced baby. I'm John Wortham with a retro review of Iced from 1988 or 89, depending on whether you check IMDb or any other websites about this little known slasher. And by Christ, when you watch it, you will know why. I had not heard of this movie, and then saw it was on Shudder and thought, you know what? I'm all about bad movies. I tend to watch bad movies, old and new, and borrowed and blue. I don't actually think that's how the goddamn phrase goes, but nevertheless, you have a bunch of friends that gather at a plush ski resort or posh ski resort, however the hell you want to go. Plushies actually would have acted better than anybody in this particular fiasco, but yes, a bunch of friends gather after one of their friends was claimed in an accident, or maybe it wasn't an accident, at a previous ski resort trip thing. That, oh boy, geez, the acting, the camera work, the amateurish audio. I think the tape or film or whatever Shudder got was like fourth generation, because there were glitches, there were blips, or maybe the film was just that goddamn shit to begin with. You could have told me this was released in 1980 and I would have fucking believed you. Friday the 13th, the first one, looked a lot better than this. To be fair, that also had a much bigger budget. But my goddamn goodness, there's schlock from the late 70s that looked better than this. Anyways, from the director of Beyond the Door 3, I saw Behind the Green Door once online by mistake, and it's also written by Joseph Allen Johnson. I don't feel bad about saying this about him because I believe he has passed on, but he was Whitey in Little Big League. He was also Neil in Slumber Party Massacre, and he has a brief role in this. He can't write, he can't act, and yeah, there you go. Look, I'm sure he's a nice guy, but he wasn't cut out for Hollywood. So you have Trina, Deborah DeLisso, who's the lead. She gets away from a guy named Jeff, who's kind of weird and everything. I mean, to be fair, I don't really think anybody in this movie is actually stable or smart. I mean, the one that played Jeanette was kind of hot, but that's really about it. I mean, I'm really just throwing, anything at the goddamn wall here. And there's will be spoilers because even if you have not seen this movie and you have not heard of this movie, it has been out for a number of years. So basically, friends show up at this posh plush ski resort and they start dying. Eventually, this movie kind of forgets that it's a slasher for at least half of its runtime. It's 86-minute runtime. And also there are pointless jump scares. And there's like maybe 2 halfway okay death scenes. But you have a guy named Corey, you have a guy named Carl. Ron Kalogi. It's like a big Kalogi. It's like a big Kalugi. Like a bunch of Kahlua. I think a bunch of Kahlua was consumed, which would explain why this film was so badly written and badly performed, and pretty much bad on every conceivable level. I didn't expect much looking at this, by the way. Just looking at the poster and checking out the cast and checking out the fact that any of the ratings were not particularly all that good. That's from people that are a lot more forgiving than me. But, yeah. Basically, in the beginning, we have, Jeff, who's very, very unstable, by the way. Dan Smith, just a bland fucking ass name. But anyway, Jeff shows up, all freaked out. He's with Trina. It turns out they have a friend named Diane, played by Elizabeth Gorsey. Related to Leo Gorsey? Possibly, about the same level of acting. But, yeah, basically Diane and Jeff were friends. She set up Diane set up Trina with Jeff, thinking it would go okay. But no, they ended up kind of breaking up on the ski trip because fun, frivolity, and nudity. There were women that got their tits out for this movie. I don't understand why. I really don't understand. I mean, not that the women were unattractive, I just don't understand why. I don't understand why anybody would agree to show their tits in it. But then again, the movie wouldn't have been seen by that many people, maybe not even their immediate families. So maybe they felt that nobody would watch this. Night skier, night, we know how to do it. Oh boy. Again, 4th generation tape. This looks so old. This looked a decade older than it actually was. I think they actually had just some random fucker filming them while skiing, and the guy didn't know what he was doing. Good job on the Steadicam during most of this, by the way. if anybody from this movie is still alive and you think that I'm knocking you, look, I'm sure you tried your best, but god damn it, this was terrible. There was a knockoff Cyndi Lauper playing over the loudspeaker in the bar, and who are these characters? Who cares is what I noted. Jeff had very goofy hair in this. A lot of goofy, stupid hair in this movie. Even for the time period, good lord. Jeff died being stupid because he was upset. He was upset at Trina, I guess, doing whatever with Corey. Was it Corey? I think it was Corey. Got upset and left, and skied off into the night, and then skied off of like this alleged like hill that actually, I swear to God, the fall was 10 feet. I mean, he fell on some rocks, so obviously he suffered internal injuries. Because he could have hit himself in the head and he would have been totally fine because there wasn't any a brain in him or anybody involved in this movie. But he died. And yeah, the camera work, the editing, good God. There's the place, the Push Plus. Yeah, you know, I'm just going to go Puss Plus. Puss. Puss is what this movie is filled with. Snow Peak. It's like Crimson Peak if it was written by a moron. So, somebody shows up in a broken ski mask thing with, yeah, like it is like broken ski mask visor, which actually kind of was admittedly a little bit cool. I will give it that much. And Eddie got run over by a snowplow, which was kind of funny. I don't know why he thought that car was going to make it up that hill. I mean, or up any goddamn road that wasn't pretty much just dry. There was a lot of plowed stuff here, but this could have been taking place in Washington State, in Northern California, in Colorado. It could have been basically taking place in anywhere there were guys. It could have been taking place in the Appalachian Mountains, for all I goddamn know. So Carl's rat tail, by the way, in this, the character, his rat tail just means that he had to die. He absolutely had to. Anybody with a rat tail, I mean, what the hell's wrong with you? I mean, then or now. So, yeah, Eddie got offed. And then this movie basically forgets that it's a goddamn killer. Carl's into pharmaceuticals. He's doing a whole bunch of drugs. This is all about condo sales. There's a guy named Alex that is doing desk work. His dad runs this whole thing. And Alex sure seems like a nice, sweet guy that helped set this whole thing up and invited these particular people here to pitch him a condo sale and nothing else. Am I indicating as to who is responsible for all this yet? And Alex ended up finding Jeff after his death, but we don't see another reveal until a little bit later on. So, yeah, that's about it. We're about halfway through this movie at this point. John and Diane, two stupid snowfuckers, you know, doing the best they can. Just more 80s references and song references that are more creative than anything in this movie. I am not a creative individual, but I could have come up with something way better than this. Good God. I have seen slashers done by people that make them for like maybe $2,000 that have more ingenuity than this. So, yeah, Carl does coke, trips balls. They show a lot of nudity in this movie for a movie that has absolutely nothing going for it. And I don't mind nudity, but it's like this just felt... It felt like it was in... it felt like we were in danger of it being confiscated while we watched it. And... more bad tan lines and stupid sex in a bathtub where water is going to get in places that you don't want water to be, and I will not say whether I am speaking from experience or not. Yeah, suddenly Alex shows up, tells us stuff about, you know, the list and everything. He ends up hooking up with Jeanette. Again, pretty much the only attractive... Well, I mean, it's not that the other women were ugly, but Jeanette was about the only one I was attracted to. It's like Joan Collins, if Joan Collins actually was human. Rest in peace, Joan Collins, but... Nevertheless, he sent an invitation to everybody, including Jeff, and didn't know Jeff was dead. They get their mailing list from somebody else. Somebody else, evidently, that, you know, just happens to be looking around in a ski visor that's broken and stuff like that. It's just... By the way, nobody has died since the Eddie thing. I mean, if one person did, I don't remember. There's a bear trap set up at one point. And John leaves for a surgery. It's an emergency C-section. This movie needed to be cut open and have its guts spilled out in front of its family. I don't think a movie has family, but nevertheless. He gets stabbed by the little prong ski dealie. I know it's called something, I just don't care, and I'm not going to bother trying to remember. And Diane then gets stabbed with an icicle that they actually cut away from to somebody stabbing Ice in a in a little thing for drinks. Which that was kind of cool. I'm really digging to try and not be mean spirited towards this long forgotten and very obscure slasher. But Jeanette then, after getting assaulted by Carl, don't do that. Why? Why did we need to see that? I mean, no excuse. You tripping, but what? No excuse. Anyway, so Jeff decides to shock her with some piece of electronic equipment and kills Jeanette in the hot tub. That was kind of okay. And then, Trina realizes everybody's dead. Corey gets stabbed through the collarbone shoulder thing here. This space, but somehow is not dead. Somehow is not dead. He was eating a pie. They baked her a pie. What flavor? Pie flavor. And then suddenly it's daytime. And by the way, there's a sudden fog machine that hit right around the time that Diane and John got stabbed, and I don't understand why I don't understand what happened. Were they trying to hide the fact that this movie's ultra cheap? Too late for that. And then Trina runs out, and she has the keys, but she forgets to put on pants. I know she's in a panic, but dear God, honey, you're going to have hypothermia. Let me get to the car. Oh, look, my two friends are stabbed, and let me get back in here, and Corey's alive still. She calls Alex, who had left in the interim, and suddenly all this crazy stuff's happening. He's in bed, by the way. He's in bed, and I don't know where he lives, but it's got to at least be a number of minutes away. But he called there and he said, sure, I'll call the police, this kind of stuff. And Trina calls Alex. Corey is alive. And then Trina ends up stabbing the person in that, but it's not Jeff, it's Alex. Why is it Alex? Because Alex knew about Jeff, found him, but also suffered his own skiing accident, where he was going to be a champion skier, but he lost his leg. And by the way, he didn't react to being stabbed because he got a fake leg. Okay? I mean, that's one way, I guess, to throw a twist in at the last minute for this movie that had gone completely off the rails within the opening few. And the only way that, Alex was able to do this is Jeff was talking to him because they were old friends. And Jeff was talking about all this crazy stuff he was going to do, and Alex tried to stop him because we didn't see who he was talking to at this bar. And it all gets set up. And Alex felt ostracized by his dad, so now he killed Corey, and he's gonna kill Trina. But except Corey's not dead. Corey shoots him. By the way, he had a string attached to his goddamn leg. Some pull string. Pulls his string, as Bela Lugosi once said. And which Ed Wood movie was that from? Let me know in the comments. So, we do it it's like a Halloween-like thing where he falls out the goddamn thing, but, the string's attached to his leg, and the leg detaches, and he falls literally 20 feet in the freshly powdered snow. I mean, I'm not saying that the ground is totally soft, but based on the amount of snow that fell, I don't think he would have been dead, but never mind, it's fine. And then 5 years later, Corey is alive, just recovered fine from his stab wound, somehow, and they have a kid. They're making a snowman, and then blood comes out of the snowman, and then suddenly Alex's body jumps out of that goddamn snowman, and that's it. That's literally the movie. I don't know why I spent so much time on this goddamn fiasco, but it was so bad. So bad. Yeah, F, obviously. I don't usually grade retro reviews, but I decided to do that because this is one you should avoid. But watch it and let me know if you thought that I was too harsh on it, or not harsh enough. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritland, and I'll see you soon.